Alright, so this is the tutorial for how to make the Throwback Thursday posts. So first you want to go to Adobe Audition. Usually it'll ask you if something funky is happening with your hardware, audio hardware. So just push yes. And for whatever reason you don't get that notification, then you go to Edit, then you go all the way down to Preferences. And then you go to Audio Hardware. And there you go. So next, what this pop-up is basically telling Adobe Audition what mic you should use. So you go to Default Input, Microphone, Blue Snowball. And then you go down to the second drop-down bar, that is Default Output. And then if you have a Mac or PC, it could be different, or a different computer than I do. For me, it was Realtek HD Audio Second Output. Now, it might be different for you, but basically what this is doing is letting Audition know that you're using your headphones and not your computer speakers. Alright, and nextly just open up the blog tab for whatever blog you're reading, or whoever's reading it, so they know what to read. And when I like to link my audio file is usually like TT or Throwback Thursday and then the date, just so everything's organized. Yep, and before you record or have Logan record, whoever's reading it, make sure that you're recording. So just either push spacebar or the giant kind of red button in the middle. Okay, so we're nearly done with recording, but there was a couple mistakes at the end that she made. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the top bar, and we're kind of going to squeeze it so we can minimize it and we can kind of see more of the audio waves to be more accurate with our cuts. So you can either use the blade tool or you can just record over it like we're going to do right now. Either way works. Yeah, and now we have all those like major fixes taken care of and it sounds smooth. But now we're just kind of getting all of the empty junk out of there. So highlight it, and then you would just delete it. And now it kind of is more condensed. And it sounds better, honestly. And then you just keep doing that over and over again until it sounds natural. Yeah, and once you have everything finished, everything's kind of scrubbed together, then you want to export it to a media mixdown. You can name it whatever, usually TT, Throwback Thursday, and then the date that is supposed to come out at. And then next, what you do is drag that MP3 file or the WAV file, whatever you desire, into the media mixdown, and this is kind of where you can export it and also add other effects, which is in the left bottom kind of panel right there. And then once you're done reviewing the file, right here, I'm kind of just snipping that end of the file so it doesn't have that awkward kind of space in between. But once you want to export it, go to File, Export, Media Mix, and then Entire Session. And right here, you want to make sure you know where the location's at, which I'm going to do right now. Just make sure it's easy to find so you're not completely lost. I'm changing the name so it's different from other files. And then that should do it. At least for the audio part. Alright, and now we're kind of going to more of the fun stuff. So you want to try to find Throwback Thursday template. It is a Adobe Premiere application file. So for me, it's in the video process, and I'll put it somewhere in the box where it's pretty easily findable. But you just want to launch it. And this is what Adobe Premiere looks like. And don't worry, it's more simple than it looks. And this is what the previous kind of Throwback Thursday when I was working on. So you want to just delete all the things you want to delete. So first we'll start with a photo. And then just highlight it. And then you just push the backspace button on your computer. Now we're going to replace that photo later, but first we're going to change the episode title name. Pretty easy. All you have to do is click on the graphic, the purple graphic, and then what you do is double click on it. And then you change it to whatever title it has to be, which is Happy Potato Day, which I think I messed up the spelling a couple of times because, I am illiterate. And then once you have the title done, you kind of want to just swoosh it back over towards the center of the whole entire screen. Alright, and next we're going to replace that picture. So you want to kind of go to your blog pictures or to the actual Word doc to actually get the picture that has. So here's me trying to find it, which one it is. Alright, and then you want to drag that over to your projects panel, which is the very left. And it just stores like all the audio and videos that you have. So you want to drag that photo over towards the sequence, which is the thing we're using right now. And then you kind of see it doesn't really fit the screen very well. So you want to go over to your control panel, right over here. And then you want to change the scale for it to fit the screen or as best as it can, because sometimes the dimensions are pretty weird. And you usually have to play around with it too. And once you think the scale is fine, you want to go over to the same thing in Control Effects, click on Occupancy and the square, the rectangle. And then you want to click on Masking Path and click on the stopwatch. And usually it takes a double click somewhere in order for the blue outline to appear. And you kind of want to shrink it as far as you can with it looking natural and symmetrical as well. Okay, and then you want to scroll over to probably about a second, and basically what's making is a keyframe or telling the computer, hey, it's going to grow this much at this speed. And what we want to do is extend it kind of near the edges, but not totally near the edges. So it kind of has that projector opening. Alright, what you want to do is click on the line so you have another notch. And what you want to push, hold up a second, and then you just keep doing that around the edges. And you'll see why in a bit. Alright, and to make them kind of curved, you want to push Alt and then click. And then it'll make those lines kind of curve. And then we'll just keep doing that for all the corners. Just so it kind of has that projector feel, so it doesn't really look very blocky. We're now going to check on our work. So if you want to do the full screen, push the parentheses button. And then it should look like that. And if it doesn't, don't worry, it's kind of tricky. Just go back to that part of this video and then just rewatch it until you get it right. So don't worry about that. Now next we're going to try to get that audio file which we got from Audition to Premiere. So find it wherever you placed it. And then you want to drag that sucker into your program to, dock. And then just drag that over to usually the A1 place to your timeline. And usually have to do some kind of squeezing. Just go to the end of it and just drag. And then what we want to do is usually take it like a second or two after it fully kind of develops or opens with that projector opening. So now we're going to focus on more of the pink rectangles on top. Those are the subtitles, and what you do is kind of click open the blog tab and then kind of copy and paste them into them. What I would like to do is, just copy and paste. And then just match them up to whatever Logan's saying at that certain time. Now, don't be afraid to delete these as well. They're not really useful. As long as you have one, that's all you really need. So you can hear me just deleting all of those pink rectangles because this is kind of a longer video. And then to duplicate those pink rectangles, which is kind of your text boxes for your subtitles, Alt and click. And then you can go on to like the next section that she talks about. And it's a really tedious process, but it works. And then one more time, control, copy that section, delete what the previous kind of subtitle blink rectangle said, and then you just copy and paste it. And sometimes you're going to have too much text in one kind of screen. So you want to go to your control bar for your graphics and you want to change the font size. And it takes a little bit of tweaking sometimes. And it can be really annoying. But it's good just to like not keep flashing things over and over again because that's really time consuming. Yeah, and then basically just keep repeating the process over and over again until, it's finished, until the whole entire audio MP3 or whatever is done. So I mean, again, it's really time consuming, and you keep and it's really monotonous. You keep repeating the same process over and over again. But I mean, it's worth it. Trust me. Alright, so once you're done with adding all those subtitles, you want to go to the control effects panel for the graphics, and you want to go all the way down to occupancy. Alright, and then you'll see a blue stopwatch and a kind of a blue diamond. I click there very briefly, and then you kind of want to scrub through to see like where you want to stop, and then you put that to 0. And then what you do is kind of dissolve slowly. And you want to repeat that for the photo and kind of the grain, which is the blue rectangle right there. So repeat the same process. And I'm deleting stuff right there because that's for a previous video. So don't worry about that. Yeah, and just make life easier, just delete all the keyframes. They usually mess you up anyways. Just repeat the same process like you did with the top pink rectangle with the other rectangles at the end of the video. So click on the blue diamond, 100% occupancy, and then drag it a little bit over 0% occupancy. And I guess people are really excited to be at the Ag Museum today. Okay, and then you just repeat the same process over and over again. See? And you kind of have like that weird, not weird, but like it kind of just dissolves very naturally. We're right there. Yep, and that's basically the effect that you're trying to do. And then this would be the outro with Logan kind of saying, oh, here's where you can find us, blah, blah, blah. And once you think you're done, just review through the video to full screen, click on the program, parentheses button, you know it. And then make sure there's like any mistakes, things you haven't seen, it's possible, and just want to double check everything. Alright, and once you think you're done, make sure you save first. Always save in case your program crashes, and then you want to go to File, export. And then you should click on media. Then this pop-up should show up. Click on the kind of blue titling. You want to rename it, usually Throwback Thursday, TT, and then whatever date is supposed to be, published. And then you kind of want to put it in like the completed video folder, or like whatever folder you have to organize things. And don't worry about me typing here. I messed up the titling in the first part. So just basically typing like whatever I need it to save. It's saving that location, so we know where to find it. And then we push Q. It's going to have this pop up. We don't care about it. Just push the blue button. And then it's just a giant waiting game. Waiting for everything to render and all that fun jazz. Alright, so you want to click on your title, what it is. And you want to kind of click that green play button. That's going to start it, exporting to your own computer. It takes a while. It'll probably take about a minute to 5 minutes. So, sit back, eat some popcorn, drink some coffee. You earned it. So yeah, basically after this bar is filled up, you're basically done. You have the video on your file, and all you have to really do is just upload it to Buffer, schedule the post, and boom, you're done, at least for the week. And then you have to repeat the whole entire process next week, and so on. But you know what? Pat yourself on the back for your first time, and then give Aaron a high five.